Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Anton. So today we're going to go ahead and create a CAPTCHA bot. So we're going to be using an npm package called GIMP to create the CAPTCHA. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to create a random image, and that image is going to have a random sequence of characters. So you can see over here that I have kind of like a small little demonstration of how it works. So the bot's going to send us an image. It's going to have code, and we're going to have to enter it. If we enter it incorrectly, it's going to tell us. And if we run out of time, it's going to kick us from the server. Okay, so let's go and get started. So I actually spent some time with this, and what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go through the CAPTCHA code, the code to actually implement the CAPTCHA, and I'm actually going to leave all of the code in the description, like always. So it doesn't really make much sense for me to rewrite all of this stuff again. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell you guys what this does. We're going to walk through it. Okay, so over here in CAPTCHA.js, let me actually rename this to CAPTCHA.js. Okay. So over here, what we're doing is we are creating a function called createCAPTCHA, and we're attaching it to the module that exports. So that way we can require it, we can import it in bot.js for later use. But all this code does is it generates a new file, okay, called whatever the name of the CAPTCHA is, .png. Okay, so if the CAPTCHA was something like, AGHB23, then the file name would be created as the same name of the CAPTCHA, .png. Okay? But all we're doing here on line 4 is we are generating the random 6-character string. That is the string that's going to be appended to it's going to be written to the image. Okay? And from here on, on line 5, we are creating a 175 by 50 image, and the background is going to be white. On line 6, we are loading up a font, and then from line 7 to 10, we're just getting the offsets so we can actually censor our text. Okay, and line 11, we are just printing the text to our image, and then we are writing our image to this file over here. Okay, so like I said, don't worry so much about what this code does. You can go through it, you can understand it, but it's nothing too crazy. It's actually just literally the same. A lot of stuff is from the GIMP documentation. But there were some examples that were not working when I was trying to center the text, so I had to find something on GitHub. But yeah, again, I'm going to leave this code and everything else in the description, so you can just take a look at this. But I don't want to waste too much time on this whole function. But again, all you need to know is that it just creates the CAPTCHA for us, and that's it. Okay, cool. So we're going to go ahead and import this function now. So create CAPTCHA. Okay. And over here, we're going to then continue on with our bot.js file. So obviously, you want to make sure you have your Discord.js project set up. I'm using discord.js with .env for environment variables. And of course, make sure you have GIMP installed. Just go into your terminal, just type in npm install discord.js .env GIMP, and it will install all these dependencies for you. Okay, very, very simple. Alright, so let's go back to bot.js. You can see that we don't really have anything crazy. We just have line 4, which we just added over here, but everything else just logs our bot in. Okay, so basically the idea is whenever the user joins the server, we're going to send them the DM. We're going to send them a DM with the image of the CAPTCHA. So first, let's do a client on guild member add. Okay. Now I want this function to be an async function, so we're going to just attach the async keyword in front of the callback function. And then we're going to call the createCAPTCHA function. So we're going to do const CAPTCHA equals await, createCAPTCHA. Because this returns a promise, but we want to await the promise so we can get the resolved value. So if I save, and I'm going to go ahead and just join the server. Just paste this up here. Okay, so you're going to see right now a CAPTCHA was created. Okay, nothing was sent to our DM, obviously, because we didn't write the code for that yet. But we have 3mm UKL. Okay, all right, cool. And you can see that it was saved inside this CAPTCHAs folder, right? That's what this code does over here. It saves it inside the current dir name /captchas/captcha.png, which is this over here. Okay. Cool. So now what we're going to do is we are going to send this CAPTCHA. We're going to send the image to the user's DM. So the user might have their DMs closed. So we need to do a try catch on this. So we're going to do try catch Okay. And we're gonna go ahead and do, let's see, we're gonna do const msg equals await member.send. And we're gonna send an image. So if you want to know how to send an image, it's very simple. You're gonna pass in this object, which is called a message options. Okay. You can see it's a message options. Okay, and it has a property called files, which is an array of objects. And these objects basically have two properties: the attachment, which is the location of the file. So in this case, the location is inside /captchas /3mm/UKLPNG. Okay, so one thing to note, that this function over here returns the CAPTCHA as a string. So that's why we have it over here. So we can then do __ name. So we're using template syntax. And we're going to go ahead and do /captchas $CAPTCHA.png. Because remember, this value over here is the value that was generated, the CAPTCHA that was generated. We're returning it, so that way we know which CAPTCHA to reference. Okay? And then we're just going to do name CAPTCHA.png. Okay, so this is going to send the file to the user. Okay? And if the user has their DMs blocked, it's going to throw an error down over here. So if that's the case, we should probably notify the user. What we'll do is we'll add them in like a specific channel. We'll worry about that later. Okay, so once we send the message, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and we want to start listening to their messages, right? We do not need the message event. We just need to await for the messages. So to do that, we're going to do const response equals await msg.channel, because this message is the message that the bot sends. Okay, we're going to get that object and we're going to reference the channel. The channel in this case is going to be a DM channel because we are DMing the user. Okay, I should say member. Okay, so we do msg.channel.await messages. We're going to need a filter function, which I'm going to define in just a sec. But in the await messages options, we're going to need a max of 1. We're going to set the time to just 10 seconds for testing purposes, but you would ideally want to set this to probably like maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes. It's up to you. Okay, but just make sure it's in milliseconds form. We're going to do errors, and this is just going to be a time. Okay, and I'm actually going to go ahead and wrap this in another try catch, because I want to catch all of the errors that happen with the await messages inside here, so it doesn't get caught down here. Okay, so let's just define our filter. So I'll do that in here. So this m parameter is the message that we are collecting from await messages. What we want to do is we're first going to make sure the message is not sent from a bot. We're then going to make sure that the author that is sending the message is the same as the member ID, the person that just joined the guild. And we're also going to make sure that the content of the message is equal to the CAPTCHA. So this filter will only return true if the original author is sending the message as well as the CAPTCHA is correct. If that's not true, what we're gonna do is we're going to do we're gonna send a message through the user. We're gonna say m.channel.send. You entered the CAPTCHA incorrectly. Okay, and from here, let's just leave this alone, and we're just going to return false. And I think this should be good enough. Okay, so now let's just test this out real quick. Let's leave the server. Our bot is online. So we get the DM. 7B7JT2. So I type in a wrong value, it's going to give me that. Oh, what happened? My message failed to send. Our Discord's lagging up a little bit for some reason. I don't know why Discord is lagging all of a sudden. That's so weird. Okay, anyways. But okay. That's what's happening over here. We are sending them the image. And then we are sending them a message when they send the CAPTCHA incorrectly. I don't know why the DMs are not working here. It's so weird. Maybe I need to refresh my Discord. Okay, I think Discord may have just went down while we were making a bot, which is pretty funny. Yeah, notice how it says back gateway, which pretty much sucks. Alright guys, sorry about that. So yeah, Discord went down for a little bit and it started lagging like crazy, but it's a lot better now. So let's go ahead and just get back to where we last left off. Okay, so right now, if we join the server, the bot's going to send us this message, and if we enter the incorrect CAPTCHA, it's going to basically tell us you entered the CAPTCHA incorrectly. Okay, and obviously after 10 seconds, it's not going to it's not going to wait for the messages anymore. Okay, so what we need to do is after after 10 seconds, okay, it's going to throw an error and it's going to go down into this catch over here. Okay, yeah, it's going to go inside this catch over here after 10 seconds. Not sure why I didn't before. It should have definitely threw an error over there. But what we're going to do is we're just going to do message.channel or msg.channel.send. You did not solve the CAPTCHA correctly. And we're going to go ahead and await this, and we're just going to kick them from the guild by doing member.kick. So let's just do 5 seconds for now, just to get things to go faster. Okay, and if they do solve it correctly, we're going to do if response message channel send. You have verified yourself. Okay, and so let's try this out now. So our bot is restarted, has restarted. So let's type in the wrong one. Okay, 916AKQ. Should have sent this message, not sure why. Oh, we did 5 seconds. Okay, that was a little bit short. Let's try it 10 seconds again. All right, we're gonna join the server once again. So we're gonna capture, we're gonna type the wrong one, OLS 8I5. So we entered it incorrectly apparently. So I think that was, I don't even know, I think that was an L actually. Okay, so now notice how it says you did not solve the CAPTCHA correctly and it kicked us from the server. Okay, there we go. Great, perfect, works just fine. Let's try this again. And now it's sending us an image. That's weird. That should not happen. That was the most weirdest thing I've ever seen. Okay, there we go. Okay, you have verified yourself. Great. Okay, so when we verify ourselves, we basically need to give the user a role. Okay, so I'll show you guys how to give them the role, but for the channel permissions, you guys pretty much just have to make it so that all the other channels for the role that you're going to give them, for example, so I'm going to give the person member role. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to go through all your channels and have it set so that, let's see. So this is a good example. Notice how over here, I have so many channels, but let me try to. So notice how we have this general channel over here, right? So notice how my other account cannot see the general channel. Hold on, just hide all this. Okay, so pretend these channels don't exist, right? And pretend these are all guest channels. Okay, and let's just say if in order for you to view the general channel, you need to be verified. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to just create a category or have all your categories set so that everyone cannot see the channels, right? You just want to make sure read text channels and see voice channels disabled. And if remember, you want to make sure you enable the correct permissions, which is read text channels and see voice channels. Okay, obviously I have all of these set to off. So for here, I had to set certain ones back on. But you just have to play around with your permissions, okay? So we're going to go ahead and get the member role. So I'll show you guys how to do that. But again, with the permissions, just play around with it. So we're going to go ahead and do, you have verified yourself, and then we'll do member.roles.add. We'll just pass in the ID. So let's leave the server. And let's join the server again. Discord is lagging. Okay, so LQL35J. And now you'll see that I have access to the general channel. before I did it, and I have the member rule. And that's pretty much it. So a couple things that I should mention is that, again, just make sure you have your permissions set up. And for the time, you definitely want to set it to something like a little bit longer, so maybe 60 seconds. And you can actually set it to 60 seconds and tell them that you have 60 seconds to you have 60 seconds to complete the CAPTCHA. So we could probably do something like, you have 60 seconds to solve the CAPTCHA, and that should be just fine. Let's try this again. We have 60 seconds to solve the CAPTCHA, so C3PS1Z, and yes, did we actually save it to 60? Okay, so obviously right now, I think about 10 seconds have passed already, so I can still try to solve the CAPTCHA. Okay, and I'm not sure how long it has passed, but notice how it's going to give us 60 seconds to give a correct answer. And if we don't, right, it's just going to keep saying you entered the CAPTCHA incorrectly. Okay, and basically it's going through this filter and it's sending this message over here. And again, like I said earlier, if you want to add a tally thing where after, 3 or 5 attempts, it's going to kick them from the server, you can go ahead and do so. Okay, but you don't really need to do that. And let's see, you entered the CAPTCHA incorrectly, and I think we got a couple more seconds to go. So I just want to okay, there we go. So you did not solve the CAPTCHA correctly. Well, that should really say you solved the CAPTCHA on time. But these things are being thrown down over here. We should just say you did not solve the CAPTCHA correctly on time. Okay, but you guys get the idea. After a minute, it told us you did not solve the CAPTCHA correctly on time. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Again, this is a very basic implementation. You can go a little bit more advanced and keep track of all of your CAPTCHAs that are generated. Because there is a very minimal chance that the same CAPTCHA may be used for another user. But if you want to prevent that, you would have to just keep track of which CAPTCHAs were created and make sure that you delete the CAPTCHAs later on. So after they solve the CAPTCHA, you want to delete the CAPTCHA from this folder over here. So what I suggest you do is you use the fs module. So we're going to do const fs equals require fs.promises. And what we're going to do is, let's see, you have verified yourself. We're going to do await. We're going to do await. Await.fs.unlink. So this should delete the file. So we're going to do underscore name / captchas, and then captcha.png, and that should delete it. Okay, and if an error happens, we're going to catch it here, because I don't want to catch it down here. We could use another try catch, but it's just better if we just catch it here. Because if an error happens with this deleting the file, it's going to kick the user, and we don't want that to happen. So let's save again. Let's rejoin the server. Let's join. So let's solve it. So Z06QR. Okay, so we verified itself. We have the role, and we should. Yep. Notice how it's not there anymore. So let me just delete these two CAPTCHA files. Okay, so let's just go ahead and leave the server. Let's join. So we have 20 seconds to solve it, okay, because we set it to 20. Okay. So we entered it incorrectly, B9Y, V6Y. We verified ourselves, the file is deleted. Now obviously if they solve it incorrectly, we should also delete the file, so we'll just put this down here. And if, yeah, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.